let's now switch gears to the reason for the season, the Yuletide. It's Christmas today, as you can see all over the place. I'm sure there are celebrations where you are. We're being joined on the program right now by the lead pastor of Transforming Church and the convener of prophetic prayer, Reverend Samuel joins us via Zoom. Reverend, thank you so much for coming on the program, and thank you for your patience. I know you had a busy day.
Thank you. It's been great listening to, like she rightly placed it, the former sacked or the sacked minister. It's quite interesting listening to her.
All right, Reverend, let's begin with the significance of these seasons and lessons we can learn, because it's a usual ritual every other year, and so there could be, quote unquote, some level of fatigue in terms of reoccurrence, and we may not know when we are missing out on the potency of the hour. So walk us through why this is significant and this has to be sustained.
One of the most remarkable things about Christmas is the fact that we're celebrating a person. That's very critical. And I think sometimes the event can eclipse the person. We can become so masked that we don't even get to see the person that is the reason for the season. Because if we choose to focus on the person responsible for the season, or the person for which the season is being commemorated, then we may want to dive in a little bit into the life, the leadership, the governance style. We may want to dive a little bit into the social interaction style of that particular person. So Christ is the reason for Christmas. And one of the things you know about Christ is the fact that his coming to earth was actually because of the hopelessness and the helplessness of man. So he came in to solve the problem of hopelessness and helplessness. For many of us who were hopeless and many of us who were helpless, who couldn't help ourselves, we couldn't fix our moral bankruptcy. He came in to help us fix all of that. So I think it's critical that as we celebrate the season, we look at the person that is actually at the center of it all, from which we can now glean wisdom for every aspect of life.
So walk us through what we can learn in terms of leadership at a personal and national level that the Christ exemplified, working on earth for 30 years, 3.5 years set out in his ministry, and has been able to accomplish what today is still impactful, even multiple thousands of years later. So what are the lessons? Leadership, because it's critical. The reason I asked about the question of leadership, we've always had leadership problem in our country, despite the fact that we have human and natural resources in abundance.
Well, thank you so much. That's a very important question you've just asked. And once you use the word leadership, it is critical to actually break that down, because leadership is the capacity to be able to move a group of people from a place of less or lesser desirability to a place of greater desirability. What that simply means is that leadership is all about movement. Leadership is about moving people from a lower place of existence to a higher place of existence. The job of leadership is to come alongside with the people, feel their pain, touch their pulse, and be able to actually capture their aspiration. And by putting in place the relevant governance system, you are able to help the people with structure, system, policies, and all of that to get the people to where they desire to be. If you look at Jesus Christ, when he came to meet us, when he came to the earth, he met us at the lowest of our state of existence. But by the time Jesus was living, and look at where we are today, Jesus has lifted us to a higher and better state of existence. That is what leadership is all about. Leadership is all about movement. The job of leadership, whether at the local level, family level, whether it's at the church, the mosque, wherever you find yourself, the job of leadership is to move the people from a lesser place of desirability to a place of greater desirability. So leadership is not done if people are not moved.
So in terms of national leadership, what are the qualities you think that a leader that will want to lead a country, and this has nothing to do with any person in particular, that wants to lead a country like Nigeria, needs to have? And I want you to juxtapose that with the unique challenges we face as a people. And that challenge stems from low trust quotient, poverty, crisis of different shapes, insecurity. I could go on and on.
Thank you so much. One of the most important things that a leader should have, number one, the first thing a leader should have is a servant heart. You can't have a servant leader who is not first a servant at heart. And if a leader fails the servant test, he is not qualified to lead. So the first thing a leader needs to have is the heart of a servant. Take that away from a leader, you're going to have a heartless leader. So the heart of leadership is servanthood. Number two, a leader needs to have vision. Vision is critical. The capacity to be able to see further and farther than the people that you are leading is critical. That's what makes you a leader, that you are able to see farther and you're able to see better, and you are able to communicate what you are seeing to the people. Now, this is very critical. Vision without communication can bring frustration. A leader may mean well. A leader may have a great vision. A leader may truly want to take a community, an organization. A leader may want to take an institution or even a nation to a great height. The failure in the area of communication, the insufficiency of communication in that leader's life can become a reason why there will be resistance, there will be frustration, there will be inhibition. Because when the people don't understand where you are taking them to, even if it is for their own good, when you enter a plane, one of the things you notice in the plane is that right at the door, they will tell you this plane is going to Lagos. When you are at the departure hall, they tell you this is announcement for people going to Lagos. You get on board, the pilot will also tell you we're going to Lagos. It is critical. And then when you're about to come through turbulence, the pilot tells you we're about to come into turbulence, fasten your seat belt, but nothing to worry about. You see, people need to hear that. When a leader leads, it's critical that there is vision and there must be communication. It is critical that within every 26 days, a leader shows up before the organization, institution, or nation to tell people where we've been, where we are, and where we're going to.
All right, Reverend Oye, as we begin to wind down, you've mentioned something quite critical, and I like the way you, the analogy you gave with the airline travels, using the airport as an example. You've mentioned communication, because before you mentioned that, I was processing what you were trying to say, how do we translate vision into measurable, realistic impacts? So if we sort out the issue of communication, what else as we begin to wind down?
It is critical that once a leader first is a servant at heart, he has clearly articulated vision. The next thing is communication. Beyond communication now of the vision is the need to build a solid team of men and women who are action-oriented, who are people that can deliver. The reason is very simple. No matter how great the vision of a leader is, if the team that works with the leader are ineffective, don't deliver, that leader will be considered to be a weak, ineffective leader. You know why? A leader is as strong as the team that surrounds him. The team surrounding a leader will either multiply the leader or they will diminish the leader. It is therefore critical that a leader carefully, painstakingly choose his team, because a failure in choosing the right people to execute the vision of the leader will lead to the frustration of the vision of the leader.
All right, in 30 seconds, how far can spiritual leaders like you, what's the latitude you have to be able to check civil authority?
We do not have any constitutional authority to go around and be policing people who are leading the government, but there's something we do have, and that is to ensure that as leaders in the faith-based community, either pastors, imams, our job is to ensure that the truth is being preached without compromise from our pulpit. 2, that our lives models the truth that we teach. Because if our lives contradict the truth, then it makes it ineffective and inefficient. Thereby, we're going to have in society leaders like priests, meaning the leaders will be a reflection who the priests are.
I will thank you. Quite insightful. So your submissions this evening. Reverend Sam Oye is the lead pastor of the Transforming Church Abuja and the convener of the Prophetic Prayer Hour, sharing the message of Christmas with us. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program. We appreciate you.
Such an honor. Thank you.
All right. Well, that's it on the program. Thank you so much for your time and company, and Merry Christmas. Enjoy your holiday. Tomorrow is Boxing Day. So you're still at home, but we'll be right here to do the work we love to do. Thank you for your time and company. I'm Jeffrey Uzama.